Hi dear students, I miss you all so much and I hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to answer some questions based on the structure given in Unit 7, 8 and 9 that will be included in your exam. Let's start. Number 1. Vegetables should dots before you cook them. The choices: wash, be washed, to wash, washing. Before we answer, we have to study the sentence, analyze it, okay? Here I have the word should, and should, as you know, has to be followed by infinitive, okay? So I will exclude washing and exclude to wash, okay? So I will choose now between wash and be washed. Before I choose, I have to judge the subject here. The subject here is the word vegetables. Vegetables is the receiver of the action, not the doer of the action. So I can't say that vegetables wash, should wash. No, they can't wash. So I will say vegetables should be washed. It's called what? It's called the passive, as you know. It's passive form. So how to form a passive with modals? I put be plus PP after the modal. So modal plus BP to form the passive, okay? Number 2. Students dots come to school on time. Students dots come to school on time. This is called what? This is called a school rule, okay? So it's a rule. For rules and laws, we always use must, okay? So students must come to school on time. Number 3, I dots obey my parents. I dots obey my parents. For sure, mustn't and don't have to don't make any sense here. So I can say I mustn't obey my parents or I don't have to obey my parents. So the choice will be between must or will have to. This sentence is called an inner obligation. In inner obligation, we always use must because I'm the source of authority here and I say to myself that I must obey my parents. Number 4, if you are in Egypt, you dots attend my wedding. If you are in Egypt, you dots attend my wedding. The choices are should, must, shouldn't, or mustn't. Okay? For sure, shouldn't and mustn't make no sense here. So, the choice between should or must. It's not a piece of advice. So, I'm not advising you by coming and attending my wedding. So, I can say should. It's not a general advice. I use must, but here it's not an obligation. It's called what? It's called warm invitation. Warm invitation. So for warm invitation, I use must. Number 5, you dots tell the truth, son. It's obvious that the speaker here is a parent, okay? Mother or father. And the mothers and fathers always give advice to their children, okay? So in strong advice, we use must as well. Why didn't I use ought? Ought is used for general advice, okay? Like should. And the ought has to be followed by to. I can't say ought tell. I have to say ought to tell. So here I will choose must because this is strong advice. Number 6, before you go to the dentist, you dots brush your teeth. This is called the general advice. General advice. And for such type of advice, I use should or ought to. Should or ought to. For sure, shouldn't and the mustn't here make no sense, okay? Because they don't serve the meaning. So I choose between ought or should. Ought has to be followed by to, so I have to say ought to, okay? But here I have ought only, so it's excluded. Okay? I will choose what? I will choose should. You should brush your teeth. Number 7, you don't smoke in a petrol station. You don't smoke in a petrol station. For sure, I will not use must or should. They are excluded. Okay? So, here I give advice. I say, you shouldn't smoke. No, because you are not allowed, as it's illegal. Okay? Why it's illegal? Because it's against the law. It's against the law. So it's called what? It's called the prohibition. And in prohibition, we use mustn't. Because the doer of the action will be fined if he does so. So you mustn't smoke in a petrol station. For number 8, haven't they given you the money back yet? They don't said last week. Again, haven't they given you the money back yet? They don't said last week. In the choices, I have should. Okay? So, I have to compare between should have PP and should infinitive. So number B and number D are similar in the tense. Should plus infinitive, shouldn't plus infinitive. They give advice for present or future. They give advice for present or future. Okay? So if I say, for example, you should brush your teeth, it means that you may follow my advice for the time being and you may follow it later. Okay? So for present and for future. But should have PP, it's used for blaming, okay, or regret, or for something that was supposed to be done in the past. In the past. I have here the word last week. So I will exclude should return and shouldn't return. Okay? Till now, they didn't return the money back. And it was supposed that they returned it. So I will use what? They should have returned it. It was supposed to be returned before now. Okay? So I will use they should have returned it. Should have returned. Okay? For number 9, you don't help her. She prefers to depend on herself. You don't help her. She prefers to depend on herself. You mustn't, it means that you are not allowed to help her. So it's excluded. Okay? Don't have and don't need and needn't are equal in meaning. Okay? So don't need, don't have, needn't are equal in meaning. Okay? But here we have to check the form. I have here the verb help in the infinitive. Okay? So, if I use the don't need or don't have, I have to put to after them. But here I don't have to. Okay? So I can't say you don't need help or you don't have help. So I will choose what? Needn't. Because needn't is followed by infinitive. Needn't is followed by infinitive. But don't need and don't have followed by to infinitive. Okay? Number 10. Wood floats if it dots in water. Wood floats if it dots in water. Here I have the word if. When you find the if in the sentence, you have to circle it and check the complete clause. I have if clause and the main clause. If clause and the main clause. Okay? I go and judge the complete one of them. Here, the complete clause is the main clause. What floats? I have to ask myself, it's in which tense? Okay? Here, the verb float ends in S. It means that it's in the present simple. Okay? And I have two types. Two types for if. Okay, the main clause has present simple, zero type and first type. So I have to judge the meaning of the sentence. Here I'm talking about fact, general fact. Each time you put wood in water, what happens? It floats. So this is zero conditional. The main clause is in the present simple, and the if clause as well will be in the present simple. Okay? So the choice is between put, puts is put, and will put is excluded here because it's not first. Okay? It has to take S at the end of the verb, so put is excluded. Okay? It here is the receiver of the action. So the would is put, not puts. Okay? So it's a passive form. I will take what? I will choose is put, not puts. Number 11. He will visit you if he dots time. I circle if and underline the complete clause. Will visit. Modal in the present plus infinitive, it means that it's a first type. What is the rule of the first type? If is followed by present simple. So I will choose what? I will choose has. He will visit you if he has time. Number 12. Dots, you work harder, you will fail your exam. As you know, unless equals if not. What serve the meaning here? If or unless. You work harder, you will fail your exam. I didn't say you will pass your exam. I said you will fail. So you will fail if you don't work hard. I don't have here not. So I will choose what? I will choose unless. I will choose unless. Okay? Because if is right as a form here, but it's wrong for meaning. It's wrong for meaning. Okay? Unless equals without and equals but for meaning. But the form is different. But the form is different. Unless is followed by complete sentence. Subject plus verb. Okay? But without and but for are followed by either a gerund, verb ends in ing, or noun. And here I have a complete sentence. So I chose what? I chose unless. Number 13. How does she feel if she read this novel again? Circle if. Where's the complete clause? She read this novel again. Okay? I go to the verb and ask myself, I'm in which tense here? This is the verb read. But here it's in the second form because I have here the subject she. If it was present, it would be reads. But I have here read in the past. Okay, so the verb here is in the past simple. It means that I am in the second type, if second conditional. If second conditional, here past simple, and here would infinitive. So I will say, how would she feel if she read this novel again? The choice will be would. Number 14. If I got enough money for the project, I wouldn't have to borrow from the bank. Number 14 and number 15 seem alike. So I have here, if I got enough money for the project, I wouldn't have borrowed. But here I said I wouldn't have to borrow. What is the difference? These two examples are very important. Would have to infinitive second type. Would have to infinitive second type, because the main verb is have here. Would have second type. But would have PP third type. So would have to infinitive second type. Would have PP third type. Here the tense has to be past simple because second. And here the tense has to be past perfect because it's third type. Okay? So if I had enough money, I wouldn't have to borrow. If I had, past simple. But here, if I got enough money, I wouldn't have borrowed. I will choose what? Had, past perfect. For number 16, I got pleased with you if you had done your homework. Again, circle if. This is the main clause, or the complete clause, sorry. Had done, in which tense? Past perfect. So, it's a third type. Okay? Concentrate. The word pleased here never confuses you. It's an adjective, not a verb. Okay? It's an adjective. I got pleased with you if you had done your homework. Here, supposed to be would have PP. This is not PP, it's an adjective. So I will choose would have been because verb to be is the main verb here. I would have been. I would have been pleased with you if you had done your homework. So this is if third conditional. I have here past perfect, and here I will choose would have be PP. Would have PP have been, not pleased. Pleased is an adjective, okay? And when you find this apostrophe D, ask yourself, it's had or would? It's had or would. If it's had, it will be followed by PP. If it's would, it will be followed by infinitive. Number 17. If you dot's busy, ask him to call later. Where's the complete clause? The second one. Ask him to call later. But here, I don't have a subject, no subject. It starts with the verb. So it's called what? It's called imperative, order. So orders come in the main clause with F in the first conditional. So this is F first conditional, F first type. I will say if you are, because here I have to choose what? Present simple. Are. Number 18. Does he study hard, he will get high marks. The complete clause, he will get. Okay? So underline will get, like this. It means that I am in the first conditional. Okay? So, if clause has to be in the present simple. But here, I have a study, not a studies. And as you all know, he takes S at the end of the verb. So it was supposed to be he studies. But it's not a studies, it's a study. It means that I'm not in the present simple here. I'm dealing with an infinitive form. So study is in the infinitive. Because of this, I will not choose if. I will choose what? I will choose should. I will choose should. Because as you all know, should is used as an alternative for if in the first conditional. Okay? and it has to be followed by infinitive. So it will be, should he study hard, he will get high marks. Number 19. Were I dots hard, I would succeed in the exam. Were I dots hard, I would succeed in the exam. Where's the complete clause? Would succeed. It means that I am in the second type. Okay? So the first clause is if plus subject plus past simple. Here, I don't have if, I have where. And as you all know, where functions as a specific alternative for if in the second type. Where functions as a specific alternative for if in the second type. And here, it will be followed by to infinitive, because it's not a main verb. It's not a main verb. I will say, were I to study hard, I would succeed in the exam. Number 20. A week ago, an apple tree dots in my garden. A week ago, as you all know, ago refers to the past simple. Okay? And I'm talking here about a single action. Single action means that had planted is excluded. Okay? Because no sequence here. Had planted is excluded. Okay? Plants is excluded as well because it's a present. So the choice is between planted and was planted. A week ago, an apple tree couldn't plant itself, so it's passive form. I will choose what? Was planted. Was planted, passive. Passive past simple. 21. Dots go for a walk every week. As you know, every expresses habit. Expresses what? Habit. Either this habit is in the present or in the past. Okay? The choices here, all of them are past. What is excluded? Number 1, he used, because here I have a question mark. It's a question. So he used is excluded. Okay? Now I will choose between was he used to, did he use to. Number B is excluded because use has to be followed by to. So number B is excluded. Okay? Now I will choose between was and did. According to what? According to the verb here. Go. Go is in the infinitive form. So I will choose what? Did he use to? Did he use to? Did he use to go? Number 22. I got used to dots in the hot water in Upper Egypt. I got used. I got used. Circle used and circle got. When got comes before used, okay, the verb will be in the ing form. So I will say, I got used to living. I got used to living. So to plus verb plus ing, yes, to plus verb plus ing. After what? After got used, after become used, after be used. Okay? Number 23. By the year 2004, my wife dots her university studies. Circle by. By the year 2004 means before this year. So I have the word sequence, the concept of sequence. And if I have sequence, it means I'm dealing with a perfect aspect. Perfect aspect. So the word by always give me here perfect. Okay? By what? Something in the past. So it's a past perfect. If it's by the year 2040, it will be future perfect. Okay? But by and the past year, it will be past perfect. Okay? My wife, what is the past perfect here? Had finished and had been finished. This is passive and this is active. Okay? For sure, my wife was the doer of the action, so I will choose what? The active form. Had finished. Okay? Number 24. Thousands of machines dots produced before the factory was closed. Here I have the word before. So I have two sentences. Okay? After before, past simple. After before, past simple. And before, past perfect. But before you choose, you have to judge the subject. Receiver of the action or doer of the action. Thousands of machines. Receiver, not doer. So I will choose what? Had been. Had been. Number 25. We went to bed, dots. We had lunch. We had lunch. Had, past perfect. And here went past simple. Okay? So, which of these connectors is followed by past perfect? After and till. After and till. So, before and by the time are excluded. Okay? I will choose between till and after. Till is preceded by negative past simple. Okay? So if I put till here, I will say we didn't go to bed till we had lunch. So here I will choose what? After. I will choose after, followed by the first action, the earlier action, which is put in the past perfect. Number 26. Dots drinking some juice. I had eaten a sandwich. The complete clause here is had eaten. Okay, this is the earlier action. So the second one has to be put in the past simple. Okay, but here I don't have a subject and I don't have the past simple form. I have a gerund. Verb ends in ing. Okay, so the choice is between what? Is between before or after. Because these two may be followed by verb ends in ing. Okay, before that has to be followed by a complete sentence. Having is followed by PP. So the choice is between after and before. According to sequence, I will choose here the second action, not the first action. And after is followed by the first action, not the second action. So after is excluded. I will choose what? I will choose before. Before drinking some juice, I had eaten a sandwich. Number 27. Ahmed was crying because he dots over. Ahmed was crying because of what? So this happened before this. This is the first action and this is the second action. Okay? And always when the effect is in the past, okay, the action itself is in the past perfect. Okay? So I will choose what? Had fallen. Had fallen. Number 28. He dots to sit down until he had apologized. He dots to sit down until he had apologized. As I've just said, until is preceded by negative past simple. Okay, negative past simple. Where's the negative past simple here? Didn't allow and wasn't allowed. So I will exclude hadn't allowed and I will exclude allows. Okay? I will choose wasn't allowed because he wasn't allowed. He here is passive, not active, the receiver of the action. He wasn't allowed. It means that no one allowed him to sit. Okay? So I will choose he wasn't allowed. Passive, past perfect. The last one, no sooner had the singer finished his song than all fans dots. Here I have a conjunction of two syllables. A conjunction of two syllables. No sooner and then. No sooner is followed by past perfect. had finished. So no sooner is followed by past perfect. But notice the inversion here. I say no sooner had, then the subject, and then the PP. No sooner had, subject, PP. And the second part of the conjunction is the word than. So I use than with no sooner. If no sooner is replaced by when, or is replaced by hardly or scarcely, I will put here when. Okay, and the same inversion. Had, subject, PP, and then past simple. Okay, so I will choose what? Shared, past simple. No sooner had the singer finished the song than all fans cheered. Okay, so this is the second action, and this is the first action, and don't forget the inversion. Okay, the last thing we are going to revise are these words. These words are related to the current events. Okay, they are terms related to coronavirus. Novel coronavirus means virus corona المستجد. Novel coronavirus. You have to study these words. Outbreak. Outbreak means اندلاع. انتشار. Epidemic and pandemic. These two words are translated into وباء. Epidemic and pandemic. Okay? But pandemic is worldwide somehow. Okay? In different countries. Initial spots. Initial spot means البؤرة الأولية. The first place that the virus was found in. Initial spot. The word declare means يعلن or يصرح. Declare. Alarming levels means معدلات مزعجة. What do you mean of معدلات مزعجة? Huge numbers. Alarming levels. Severity means حدة أو خطورة. Severity. Quarantine حجر صحي. Quarantine. Self-quarantine means حجر صحي ذاتي. Isolation means عزل. Isolation. طب هنعزل ناس هنقول cut off millions of people. يعزل ملايين البشر. Cut off millions of people. Locations of outbreak means مواقع التفشي بتاعت الفيروس طبعا. Locations of outbreak. Symptoms means أعراض المرض. Symptoms. Indications إشارات أو مؤشرات. Indications. The word fever means حمى. Fever. Cough, كحة. Lock up or closure means غلق. The closure of shops means غلق المحلات. Lock up or closure. Officials means مسؤولين. Social distancing means التباعد الاجتماعي. Social distancing. Ban gathering منع التجمعات. Ban gathering. Take actions means يتخذ إجراءات. Take actions. Okay? So please, dear students, study these words, study these questions, okay? And don't forget to study the vocabulary given within these 3 units, okay? The words, the definitions, collocations, and the prepositions. And I hope you all with best wishes and good luck. Thank you.